Hello and welcome to Lisa Loves. I'm on the homeward straight. I'm going to do the horror and metal tag compiled by HellHound from the channel Horror Metal. I'm not sure if he wants to call this HellHounds Horror and Metal tag or Horror Metal's Horror and Metal tag. I think HellHound's Horror and Metal tag. I'm overcomplicating things. I was originally going to do this with my husband because my husband is more the metalhead. I am more the classic rock, industrial, gothic, that sort of thing. So I was going to do it with him, but getting it arranged is just like impossible. We just can't get the time to get it fitted in. I'll tag him in it, and if he wants to do it himself, then he can do it himself. But I want to get on and get this done because I don't like feeling like I have to do a tag and not doing it. I feel rude. I feel like a naughty child. Lisa, get this tag done. You've been tagged. Get it done. So, horror and metal tag. My answers won't be probably what would be. Thankfully, HellHound said your answers don't have to be metal. They can be whatever type of music you want to put in there. I'm sure he would prefer metal answers, but most of mine won't be metal answers. Although I have and do listen to some metal bands. As I've got older, not so much anymore. So, number one, how do you watch horror movies? Whatever chance I get to watch horror movies, I watch horror movies. I watch a movie every night in bed. I go to bed at midnight most nights, and before I go to sleep I put on a horror movie most nights. If I get the chance, I'll watch one with my husband before we go to bed, but he's an exceptionally tired, sleepy person, and I find it hard to sleep, so he'll be snoring his head off. I'll be watching some scary shit or other on telly. So yeah, every night I watch it on DVD. I'm subscribed to Netflix, TV, and I'm hoping, I'm wanting to sign up to Shudder. I think we can get that in the UK, so I'm gonna have a go at that. If people get confused with me keeping saying UK, I live in Northern Ireland, so I live in Ireland, but strictly speaking, Northern Ireland belongs to part of the United Kingdom, so that's why people maybe get confused as to where I live. I live in Northern Ireland. So, yeah, so that's how I watch horror movies. Every chance I get. It's hard when you've got a child in the house, though. Me and my husband used to be able to go to the cinema and watch 3 or 4 movies back to back, and just have marathons of, binge-a-thons of TV shows and movies. But we can't do that anymore because we've got a kid to entertain. Parenting, hey? Number 2. 2 metal albums you listen to ad nauseum. I'm really grateful that HellHound told us what ad nauseum meant. It means over and over and over again till you got sick listening to them. I don't have metal albums that's the case for. I have what bands? I ran out of storage again. Oh, it's a pain up the bum, it really is. Do I need to move me stuff? No. I will go back to one that I had read. No, I think 2 metal albums you listen to ad nauseum. So, I don't listen to a lot of metal. I used to like Metallica a lot. One of my first gigs was Megadeth. I don't like I apologise, I'm not saying they're no good. I don't listen to bands like Anthrax and Testament and that sort of ilk. It's just not my cup of tea, really. I love Judas Priest. I love Dio. I love Deep Purple. Rainbow. So when I heard you talk about Rob Halford and Ronnie James Dio, yeah, absolutely love them. But 2 albums I've listened to death have to be 2 Queen albums, I'm afraid, and it's Queen A Night at the Opera and Queen A Day at the Races. I know those inside out. I know every lyric to every song. I know every little noise that Freddie makes, every note. Love them. Absolutely adore those albums. The first couple of Queen albums, Queen and Queen 2, are actually really heavy albums. I don't know if they'd be classified as metal, but they're heavy albums, so yeah, it'd be Queen. Number 3, Kel Surprise. Number 3, who would win in a 4-way tournament between Jason, Freddy, Michael and Leatherface? Right, first instinct was Leatherface, but I thought about this a bit more and it's gonna be Freddy, because really, everyone has to sleep. So if he just waits for them to go to sleep, he can kill them in their sleep, can't he? So It's not an object of strength or mastery or all that stuff. So Freddy. But then we've got Jason. How many times can that guy die and come back? So there's that. Leatherface has got a massive big chainsaw. I'm still going with Freddy because we just have to wait on them sleeping and then he can kill them all. So I'll go with that. Number 4. Who are your top 5 metal vocalists and why? It won't be metal vocalists. I will say I really like Rob Halford and I really liked Ronnie James Dio. I like James Hetfield, but metal vocalists wouldn't be my favourite vocalists. My favourite 5 vocalists are Joe Turner of Rainbow fame, obviously Freddie Mercury, Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, David Coverdale, Whitesnake, Rainbow, and Nicky Borg from Backyard Babies. So that's my favourite 5 vocalists. All boys. Number 5. Who do you love? Why? Sorry, who do you love? Why do you love horror and what does it mean to you? I love horror because I started watching horror as a very young child because my dad was mad about Stephen King, so I grew up watching it, so it's normal to me. I found that when I started secondary school especially, I was that bit different to most girls. Thankfully, sort of getting to know other girls now in the horror community. And when I got old enough and met Kelly, who's now my best friend, who loves horror, it wasn't normal for girls really to like horror. And in Ireland, there's not that much. Like in America, it must be like heaven, conventions and all these horror shows. And like in Ireland, there's nothing horror-wise. And if you get into horror, it's quite an unusual thing, especially if you're a girl. So horror to me it just became a part of my identity, a part of what I was. I like to be frightened watching a programme. I know it's not real, but I like that feeling. I find my least favourite genre of movies is probably rom-coms. I find them so boring. Nothing happens. I don't mind a really good drama with a really good story, thrillers, action. Really hate anything to do with the mafia, it just sends me to sleep. But horror movies evoke a response within me that other movies don't. I just really, really enjoy them. It's like, F yeah. I'm not going to say the F word. So yeah, they sort of represent a side of me, I think. They sort of are me, if that makes sense. So yeah. Number 6, what bands got you into metal? As I said, I don't really listen to much. I never really considered Judas Priest or Metallica metal bands. It's also strange. I would have considered them rock bands. Metal to me is like Anthrax and Testament and Obituary and all that stuff. I took the usual path that a lot of girls take into rock. Most boys seem to start with really heavy thrashy bands and then they sort of progress and get into a bit of a wider thing and then they sort of maybe get into bluesy rock or whatever, or they stay with the heavy stuff. I usually find as people age that sort of doom metal and black metal, and that's something I don't like if I can't tell what a person's saying. If it sounds like, oh, I don't want to hear it. Simple as that. I find people tend to, I don't want to offend anyone, but grow out of that as they age. They want to hear something that's a bit more pleasant to the old ear holes. So that's never really been a genre. When I was younger, when I went to rock clubs a lot, when I had no responsibilities, didn't have a kid, yeah, you like all that loud stuff to jump about to. Even then, I still preferred, I don't know, hair bands, bluesy bands, gothic bands, things like Whitesnake and like, my sort of introduction into rock was bands like, don't laugh at me, bands like Bon Jovi and Def Leppard. That was when I was really young, and then Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction and GNR Lies were 2 of the first rock albums I really liked. Def Leppard's Hysteria. Anything Bon Jovi did after Slippery When Wet in New Jersey just doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. Pre that, I like. Then I got into stuff like, I don't know, Whitesnake, Rainbow, Dogs d'Amour, then like Marilyn Manson, Nine Inch Nails, Rammstein, Apocalyptica. Just progression of just different genres of rock, but never really, really heavy, thrashy doom stuff. That's not my cup of tea, really. What bands? I have to be honest, Def Leppard, although they bore me to tears now, Bon Jovi, anything they've done since Slippery When Wet's Rubbish. Metallica, Guns N' Roses are the bands that I would have to say that got me into rock. Number 7. Oh, Queen. How could I have forgot Queen? I listened to Queen from a really young age, so Queen. Always Queen. Number 7. What is your favourite type of horror? My favourite type of horror, was that subgenre, is found footage and supernatural, ghosty wosty, paranormal stuff. Not so much possession stuff. I like it okay. The Exorcism of Emily Rhodes was excellent, but there's just so many bad exorcism movies out there. I like anything that is done well on the forms. That scene in the first Paranormal Activity movie where the woman's dragged out of bed by her foot still gets to me. Anything ghosty that's done well will freak me out. Stuff like the original Japanese Ring where Samara gets out of the well at the end and it's all creepy. That sort of stuff. And found footage. I really enjoy found footage movies. I know I'm in the minority there, but I do like them. Number 8, and finally, if you could bring back any metal/music performer, who would it be? 10 points to the winner of that question. You'd have to be a doughhead if you watch my channel and you don't know what the answer to that is. It's obviously Freddie Mercury, the king of Queen. It will always gut me that I never got to see Queen in my lifetime. I was really young when he died. He's one of only 2 people I've ever idolised. I don't really idolise celebrities. I'm not bothered about meeting them, but Freddie, oh god, that man. Which reminds me, I've got a trailer reaction to do. They've got the new trailer out for the new Queen movie, and I haven't seen it yet. Oh god. What was I going to say? If I had to pick someone metal, very, very easily, Ronnie James Dio. Yeah. But Freddie Mercury, hands down, folks. That guy just had a gift, and there's never been another Freddie. He just was something else. There's so many others. Prince. He was such a talented musician. A lot of people don't realise how talented musically that guy was and how many instruments he could play. They just think he's like a funny little man that dances and sings. But it has to be Freddie. So yeah, right, I'm going to draw a line under that because I'm really aware I have to get downstairs and take my son to bed. My husband has been left entertaining. And I need to watch this Queen trailer. So I'll probably do that now. And then I'll go take Isaac to bed and start another day. The tribulations. So yeah. I hope those answers were okay for you, HellHound. I know they weren't very metally. I will tag my husband, Gong Farmer. He hasn't done many videos because he's lazy. Hope you're watching this. As HellHound said, if the tag sounds like something that you would like to do, it doesn't have to be rock or metal. It can be any music that you want it to be. I think just he wants everyone, as many people to do this as possible. And obviously let him know if you do it. I will pop a link to his original tag video in the description so you can let him know. But do not post a link to your video in his comments. As I found out, it can get your comments sent to spam, unbeknown to you. I found 40 comments in my spam folder last week. I had no idea that existed. So one of the things that can get you sent to spam is posting links numerous times, which I do all the time. So I learned now. Just pop over and say, I've done the video if you want to go check it out, and then you'll be able to see it. So yeah, I will leave it there. And oh, no I won't. Jen's Reviews from the Grave, she's really into music. Yeah, Jen's Reviews from the Grave, I definitely tag her in this one because she'll have some really good answers. And Christian also, her son, who hopefully will do it with her, who likes his rock. So yeah, those two. How could I forget? So yeah, with that said, it's over and out from Lisa Loves.